Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Nspire You Network. We're broadcasting from the Prestige Event Center in Mobile. Today we're going to talk about something that goes on right under our noses that we may not even know about, and that's human trafficking. I have Miss Isabella Albert, who is the Awareness Director of the Rose Center, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how they help these victims. Isabella, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely. This is a very important subject, and I want to start off with, tell us how you define human trafficking.
So the international definition is anytime there is a form of coercion present for a commercial sex act. And that form of coercion could be giving somebody the very, very basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, to big gifts, to love, emotional support. And that's how these pimps are able to kind of get in there. And they're able to create cracks, so maybe there weren't cracks. And that is anytime there is any form of coercion, that is when it is sexual trafficking.
Okay. And how often does this happen in our community?
It happens every single day, which is the scary thing. To women of all walks of life, all ages, the average age for a woman to be caught up in the sexual trafficking industry is actually 13 years old.
Wow.
And then we see women up into their 50s. But the sad thing is that the average life expectancy for a woman once she is sexually trafficked is about 7 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting. And I'm guessing that's because a lot of times when they get caught up in the human trafficking, there's drugs and different things like that that are involved. And
yeah, there is. And if you think about it, a drug is sold one time and that's it. But a woman, a human being, can be sold multiple times per night. And they can sell a woman up to 20 times, we've heard, per evening. And so if you think about that, that wears you out very, very quickly, and that's why the life expectancy for these women is so short.
Understood, understood. So, there's a perception because, even with me, it's something that I always thought, a lot of people think that this only happens in third world countries. So to know that it's happening right here in our own backyard, what about the city or what about this community that attracts those people who are trying to capture these women into the human trafficking ring?
Yeah, so Mobile's amazing. It has Mardi Gras, it has Gulf Shores not that far away, it has the Senior Bowl, all these things that bring in a lot of people to our area that also creates a demand. Simple way to put it, it creates a demand for these women and these services. We look at these websites that sell women, and the number of times that it actually goes up, the number of women being sold goes up exponentially during these events like Mardi Gras and things like that.
Okay. I tell my daughter all the time when she and her friends get ready to go out together, or she travels sometimes with her friends, and it's so important for them to stay together, when they're going to different places.
And that is extremely important, and there's no way that you can ever undermine that importance. But it's not the way we think of it always, as in women just being taken off the streets. And I'm not going to say, obviously stay in groups, be careful.
Yeah.
But these women sometimes believe that they're their boyfriends.
Okay.
Oftentimes it'll be a woman with a much older man. She might call her boyfriend daddy. Things like that.
Okay.
And one of the things that we're trained for at the Rose Center is if a woman comes in talking about her boyfriend, saying, but my boyfriend has me do these things for him every now and again, we'll call him her boyfriend up until we can get her to realize that that situation is trafficking.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily what we think of. We think of taken, right? It's not like taken. It's more of a gradual isolation process, and that's how women get involved in the industry.
So most of the time, these traffickers isolate them from their friends, their families, and they're very controlling and all of that. So tell us some of the signs that indicate that, hey, I'm a victim of human trafficking. What are some of the signs to look for?
So the very first one is isolation, and I kind of touched on that. But if they're starting to isolate women from their friends and family, a second one is if there's a much older man with maybe multiple cell phones or a place or a workplace that you can't necessarily visit. And of course, if something seems a little off, your intuition is a lot stronger than people give it credit for. So we really do encourage people just to call us and reach out, and we can, talk if there's something that people think is maybe not quite right.
Okay. So, in looking at it in a human trafficking instance, so I have a boyfriend, okay? We're not talking about your normal boyfriend-girlfriend relationship
No,
where we're
of
going
course
to
not.
eat and we're going to the movies. Describe how that relationship looks.
It can look very, very normal from the outside. It really can. Sometimes it might honestly look like a case of domestic abuse.
Okay.
But the thing that makes it different is I've done all these things for you. Now you will go and you will do this one thing for me.
Okay.
And then once a pimp is able to get that woman to do that one thing for her, that one initial act, then it's very hard for her to go back. And that's where we come in.
Okay.
We kind of retrain people. We expect women to relapse just like anything else.
Okay.
Another thing that pimps oftentimes will pick out on is single mothers.
Okay.
Because what isn't a mom going to do to feed her baby?
Right. Very vulnerable.
Exactly. And sometimes a pimp will be like, well, if you don't do this one thing for me, I have your kid at home in an apartment that I pay for. So, what's a mom going to do?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, Isabella, we're going to take a break right there. We're going to take it to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to learn more about the Rose Center.
You feel so comfortable when you're down here.
Everything from the services was very professional,
They understand what grieving is.
and it was so much easier having things done ahead of time.
They help you in every way that they can.
These things go on through your life, and you always have your memories, and it's nice that someone else can care about someone else's feelings like that.
Prestige Event Center is the place for your dream event. Weddings, concerts, balls, birthday parties, reunions, church events, conferences. Whatever you envision, Prestige will assist in making your dream come true. Each event is created to your custom specifications with the focus on hospitality and budget. Prestige has many designs to choose from in their all-new facility. Come by for a tour. Prestige Event Center exceeds all your expectations.
And we're back with Miss Isabella from the Rose Center. We've been discussing human trafficking. Isabella, I want to go a little bit deeper because earlier we talked about Mobile being a target or a hub for human trafficking. Let's go a little bit deeper and give me just a little more on the statistics of the people and the reasons that Mobile is such a target.
Yeah, so one of the very, very big ones is our location. We are in the I-10, I-65 corridor. Now, the I-10 goes all the way to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And it comes right through here.
Right.
We are also on the I-65, which stops up in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
So we are at the hub, a mecca of a transport place for these victims.
Okay.
We also have a really high poverty rate. We have a poverty rate of 23% here in Mobile.
Wow.
We also
Okay.
have a really, really large homeless population, and that lack of options kind of, leads people down that path,
Okay.
especially homeless runaways. And the actual statistic is 1 in 3 girls who have ran away will be trafficked within 72 hours of leaving home.
Wow.
And these traffickers are great about picking out those women. They're professionals at it, those girls who don't really have any options. We also have a really, really high substance abuse rate here in Mobile as well. And substance abuse can be seen as a coping mechanism for these girls.
Okay.
It can also be a way that traffickers can kind of get these women under their grasp.
Okay.
Another really, really high indicator is sexual abuse. All of the girls that we serve have been sexually abused at some point in their adolescence.
Okay.
Also, women who are arrested for prostitution charges, 90% of those women were sexually abused as children.
Okay. All right. Those are just really disturbing, statistics. And I'm guessing that the human traffickers are not necessarily just moving through town. Some of them probably live right here in our
Exactly.
backyards, and we just don't even realize it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really scary. Now, you also mentioned about websites. There are certain websites that people can go to to buy a woman or what have you. I'm guessing that these are just your normal websites.
Yeah, social media we use every single day has been used to exploit and traffic these women. Also, there are websites that do look like escort websites, and oftentimes there is a form of coercion present, and that is still what makes it the trafficking.
Okay, yeah, and that's why it's very important that we watch the websites that our children are on, because you just never know, who's lurking out there. So fill us in now on what the Rose Center offers and how they assist these victims.
Okay. So the Rose Center, it is a daytime stop-in facility. And people are like, what's a daytime stop-in facility? Basically, we do anything that a regular facility would do. The only thing that we do not offer is overnight, a place for women to stay overnight. Not just yet, one day, hopefully. But we just don't have those resources at the moment.
Right.
So if people need food or shampoo, we can give them that. Our goal is to meet the need while planting the seed. That Maslow hierarchy, you can't reach the top of the pyramid if you don't have the very, very basics.
Understood.
So if girls need a hot meal, we'll give them that. We don't ask for anything. We don't want anything from them. That's why girls, when they come to us, they're so surprised because they're so used to living in a life where I'm going to give you something, but this is what I'm going to take. And we just want to give to them. If they want to talk to us and if they want to keep coming back, then that's when we can, delve a little bit deeper and they can enter into our program to eventually get at that lifestyle.
Okay, all right, that's very good. So as far as, are there any special requirements in order to be served by the Rose Center?
Yeah, we do have a few, but we kind of handle those once women get into the Rose Center and once we talk to them a little bit more. And we always say, if you think that something doesn't feel right, trust your intuition. We would love to talk to you.
Okay. So in order to help these women, I'm sure that the center itself has to have some type of resources. Where do those resources come from?
So donations.
Okay.
Women who donate, if they have a pair of leggings that they're not using, sports bras, if they want to donate a meal, that's how we get resources, just good Samaritans.
Okay.
We also do have people who donate monetarily, but our big, foundation that we get everything from, most of our things, is called I Heart World, and that was started by Brian and Susan Russo. They were at their church and they heard our story, or they heard the story of human trafficking, and they were like, what can we do? We're only 2 people. So Susan, she did what she could. She could sew. So she and her mom sewed handbags, and they sold them online, and that's how we get a lot of our money.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's how we started.
That's amazing. Okay. So one of the other things that you and I talked about earlier were the statistics on how the Rose Center has helped these young ladies. Share that with our viewers, please.
So far we have 59 hours of referrals, 128 hours of case management, 225 services provided directly to survivors, and 1,333 hours of serving survivors. We've provided 48 hot meals. We've trained 40 volunteers. We've had 56 hours of targeting at-risk youth prevention. We've had 311 service providers of first responders and police officers trained, and 892 volunteer hours worked so far.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the victims that you see come into the facility. What do they look like? What is the racial structure? What is the age group? What do they look like?
So far we've served 98% Caucasian women and 2% African American women. And we are trying to grow that number to everybody. Anybody who needs us, we want to help them.
Okay.
And the scary thing about victims and what we see is that they look just like us. There is no divide there. It affects women of every single walk of life. Women who come in, I've seen, you would never guess that anything is wrong, that they've had to walk through that fire. And that's what makes it very scary, but that's also what makes it very, very powerful.
Right. So I understand that there are other programs that you all work with young girls through. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so right now we're actually going into the Light of the Village in Pritchard to talk to girls about things like healthy body image, boundaries, healthy relationships, things that maybe they might not necessarily have somebody teaching them, things that when we're talking to women who are victims of human trafficking, that maybe they lacked in childhood, maybe something that they didn't hear or they didn't hear enough. So we're trying to go in there and talk to these girls about it, so that way when they're 20 years old, they're not in this position.
Right, right. So just kind of building that self-esteem and showing them how to love themselves.
Exactly. And we're trying to get into anywhere. If anyone wants us to come talk to their girls, we would love to do that for them.
Okay, so people can reach out to you
Yeah.
and ask you to come and talk to their girls groups and things like that.
Yeah, and we're not coming in to scare them straight. We're not being like, you're going to get trafficked. It's more of we're kind of equipping them before they need
Before it happens, like informational, and information is very important. Okay, so lastly, share with our viewers if a person thinks they may be a victim, if they are a victim, if they know a victim, or if they suspect the activity may be going on around them, how do they reach the Rose Center? What do they do to get help?
We do have a crisis hotline, and that's 251-206-8779. And if you think about the last 4 numbers, it actually spells out hope on a phone. So women will call us and they'll be like, is this Hope? Are we speaking to Hope? And we're like, yeah, you're speaking to Hope. And if it's less pressing and somebody just wants to get in touch just to talk about things, we do have an email. That's rcmobile@iheartworld.org. And iHeartWorld is spelled like eyeball, like the one in your head, EYE, heart, like your heart, at iHeartWorld.org.
Isabella, thank you so much again for taking the time to come out and share with us. Viewers, there's so much information that can be learned about human trafficking. We recommend that you reach out to the Rose Center if you feel in any way that anyone is involved or you're involved with this. Next up, we are going to highlight a local celebrity. At Inspire You Network, we're all about highlighting our locals. So please stay tuned. We've got an interview coming up with Kirk J. from The Voice. Then after that, we have a Mother's Day tribute, so stay tuned.
Prestige Event Center is the place for your dream event. Weddings, concerts, balls, birthday parties, reunions, church events, conferences. Whatever you envision, Prestige will assist in making your dream come true. Each event is created to your custom specifications with the focus on hospitality and budget. Prestige has many designs to choose from in their all-new facility. Come by for a tour. Prestige Event Center exceeds all your expectations.
You feel so comfortable when you're down here.
Everything from the services was very professional,
They understand what grieving is.
and it was so much easier having things done ahead of time.
They help you in every way that they can.
These things go on through your life, and you always have your memories, and it's nice that someone else can care about someone else's feelings like that.
Out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping
And the red carpet is moved to the dressing room of Kirk J. How you doing, Kirk?
I'm hot. I mean, so we need a box fan, but I do feel great.
Yeah.
We're here, and we're gonna put on a great show tonight. I'm excited. It's my first time really doing a show here.
Okay.
So I'm super excited, man. I can't wait to see the energy in the house tonight.
Well, literally, you are hot. You're one of the hottest things out right now. We appreciate having you in the port city to do this. What does it mean to do a show like this, too?
Everything, man. Just to be recognized, just to know that people support you and people want to see your talent. It means everything to me. So I'm gonna give the people what they want to see. I can't wait.
All right, Candace, I know you got to ask something.
Yeah, you talked about talent, and we know that you are very talented. Tell us how your experience was on the TV show.
I mean, it changed my whole life. Prior to The Voice, I really wasn't doing any shows like that. I mean, I was traveling, and I would do open mics, and a lot of people don't know this, but I would travel 4 and 5 hours to these venues, and I would get there, and there'd be 5 people in the audience. And I would make probably, $8 in tips.
Yeah.
I'd go get me a cheeseburger meal, and I would be happy. And I wanted something different, I wanted a bigger way to showcase my gift and inspire the world with my talent. So I heard about The Voice. I went on The Voice, and boom,
You blew up.
Look at me now.
Yes.
Look at God.
Yes.
God
yes.
is good. I just, I'm grateful. I'm appreciative for everything that has taken place in my life so far. And I would tell anybody that's looking for, that exposure, man, go to The Voice. It changed my life. It'll change yours too.
Wonderful. I love that humbleness. I love it, when we arrive, but we can still give God praise and thank the people who helped us along the way.
Because He giveth and He'll take it away too. So
yes, He will.
You gotta stay humble because it's through God all blessings flow. Man.
That's right. Well, He has given you a wonderful gift, and we are so happy to have you here to share that with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Y'all look good.
Thank you. You look
good
good too.
What is that, Versace?
Well, it's for Allie. And so Allie.
Yeah.
With my man Kirk Jack.
Hey, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to get some of these meatballs.
Get
now,
you some. Get them balls. Get them.
See y'all in a little bit.
Amen.
We want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to another episode of Nspire You Network. Today is a very special day. It's Mother's Day. So first, we want to say happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you, whether you're a mother, grandmother, aunt, sister, or just someone who portrays being a mother. Happy Mother's Day to you. But we also want to give a huge shout out to our Mother's Day Lookalike Contest participants as well as our winner. And now we would love to share with you everyone who participated in our contest. Brianna Smith and Lakeisha Cox. Cora Carter and Andrea Leggings. Jasmine Abreu and Tiana Wilson. Katie Moore and Ava Moore. Latanya Gibbs and Valerie Smith. Shamiqua Kidd and Wanda Kidd. Tahiri Moore and Aladrian Cooks. Brittany Finley and Gemma Campbell. Geraldine Morris and Gratarshi Morris. Jastiny and Bailey May. Kayla Sampson and Kimberly Sampson. Naya Spears and Avery White. Latanya Poe and Tan Poe. Travasia A.G. and Evelyn A.G. Melanie House and Jerica House. And a huge round of applause to our 2019 Mother's Day Lookalike Contest winners, Miss Nikki Isaac and her daughter, Jakayla Isaac. Congratulations, ladies. You two have won Dinner for Two, a photo session by Tondarius T. Tookit Rothschild, and also a full-face makeover by MUA artist Miss Nikki Stevens Thomas. We call her Picasso. We want to thank each and every one of you for participating in the contest, liking the pictures in the contest, sharing the pictures, liking the Nspire You page, and simply supporting this promotion. We ask that you tune in for our next episode. We're taking it to fitness. Thank you so much for listening in to Nspire You. Special thanks to our sponsors, Smalls Mortuary and Prestige Event Center. See you next time.